Hi, and thank you so much for being here by choosing one of my products. Before we dive into the mileage and vehicle tracker, I want to let you know that English isn't my first language, something that you will probably hear it in every sentence of this video. So be patient and I'll try to explain everything as better as I can. So, just like any other template, the first thing you have to do is to take a look into my README instructions tab, which offer detailed guidance for every tab and every section of it. For example, we have the setup page section, which explain every part of it, the fleet page section, drivers, and every other tab, explaining each part of every tab. So before you start working with the template, take a look into the instructions tab. Right after, the next step is to go on the setup page and fill in every details about your business. Starting by selecting between miles and kilometers, the default cost per mile, set your currency symbol over here. You can delete, for example, dollars and make it euro or any other currency symbol. Also select between gallons and liters for fuel measure type. And then we have expense entries tab section, fleet tab section, and maintenance tab section. On expense entries tab, you can fill up to 50 categories, which can predefined over here. So all you have to do on the expense entries tab, have a drop down and make a selection based on the predefined list of the setup page. Similar for the status of fleet tab and maintenance type for maintenance tab. By filling all these details, then you have to set your month and year that will be used as the starting point for the template. After that, on maintenance reminder section, set how many days before, how many miles, and how many hours before you want to get a notification for the next maintenance on the dashboard. And that's pretty much everything about the setup page. Let's go now on the fleet tab. On the fleet tab, all you have to do is to submit all your vehicles. You can set a number for each vehicle, the manufacturer, the model, the year, the VIN number, the license plate, assign a status for that vehicle, and a few other details, including the expiration dates of registration, insurance, warranty, and 2 extra columns to fill any other detail you'd like. Also, on the top section over here, you will see registration and insurance next expiration. And that's pretty much everything about the fleet tab. All you have to do is to list your vehicles. Next, similar on the drivers tab, all you have to do is to list your drivers, their full name, address, phone, any emergency contact details, license number, expiration. You can assign them a vehicle, but also you can submit a few details about its driver. Right after, let's go into one of the main entries tab, which is mileage log tab. Starting by the date, time, assign a category for that trip, select the vehicle, the driver, but also you can submit trip purpose, the start location, destination, the total duration, where auto starts and where it ends. And the template will calculate the difference automatically. As you can see, here the cells are color coded, which means template calculates the difference automatically. Last, you can set a cost per mile only for the specific entry. That way, by submitting another cost per mile over here, the template will overwrite the default cost per mile and will make the calculation based on your manual entry over here. Alternatively, if you leave it empty, the template will calculate based on the default cost per mile you submit on the setup page. Next, you can submit total fees and parking fees, and the template will calculate the total cost. So that's the main tab where you have to enter all your entries for every trip. After that, we have the fuel log. Over here, you can submit the refill that you made in every vehicle by the driver that made it, how many gallons, the total cost, and the template will calculate the total cost per gallon or liter, as you can see, which is color coded, which means that this calculation will take place automatically. You can also track the station location, the miles, and any notes. Also, you will notice a vehicle highlighter up here where you can select the vehicle that you want to be highlighted for for easy find. Let's go now on the next tab, which is Maintenance tab. Over here, you can track every maintenance for all your vehicles, submitting the date, selecting the vehicle, the maintenance type, the miles. You can also track hours, write a description. You can select the garage that the maintenance took place and the cost. Also, there is a section where you can set the date, miles or hours where the next maintenance should take place. So based on that, the template will notify you on dashboard the days, miles or hours you've set on the setup page before. That way you're sure that you won't miss any maintenance again. Let's go now on the last entries tab, which is expense entries, where you can track any other expense for your business, submitting the date, category, set a description and the amount. You can also submit any note for each entry. The checkbox in front of each entry, feel free to use it as you'd like. And that's everything about expense entries tab. Let's go now on the dashboard tab. This is the last tab of this template, where you can track everything that is related with this mileage tracker. At the top, you will notice a summary bar, which summarizes the total driven miles or kilometers, how many of them was for business purpose, the mileage cost, tolls and parking costs, expenses, and the ratio of business over total. Next, there is a graph with 12-month mileage cost overview, a section which displays when is the next maintenance, the next expiration for each vehicle and what vehicle is that, but also you get a mileage breakdown based on the date range you've set over here, seeing how many of them was for business, for personal or for maintenance, showing you the total miles for the selected period. By double clicking over here, you can change the date range. Next, there is a section for vehicle details, which you can select a vehicle and all the details below will update it automatically. And after that, we have a calculation where you can choose which method offers the greater tax advantage for your business. So feel free to use it to see which suits you better. Next, you have a drop down where we'll bring the details for the selected driver and also another graph by using a date range to see the mileage cost. After that, there is a monthly annual breakdown which summarizes miles, driven hours, fees, parking, fuel, everything along with the expenses. Also a board next to it which can be used as a comparison between two different periods. Also over here you will notice a plus symbol which by clicking it, clicking OK, all the expenses will be revealed. If you don't want a breakdown for each expense, you can hide it for space efficiency. And at the bottom you will notice a section which you can see for each vehicle when is the next maintenance, by miles or by hours. And that's pretty much everything about the mileage tracker. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions or you need any help or guidance with the template by contacting me from HChat, email, my website or directly as a comment below this video. I always respond within 12 to 24 hours, so don't hesitate to contact me. Until next time, take care and thank you again for supporting my business. Bye.